All right, now let's go ahead and unwrap the other parts of our eye, which is going to be the caruncle and the tear duct. So I'm going to select this tear. The eyeball's already unwrapped. You have the tear duct at the top, tear duct at the bottom. Keep in mind that these are actually mirrored. So we could just do one side, and then we have the mirror on the other side, and then later just back our UVs. Alright, so for this here, I think we could just unwrap it like we would how a cylinder would unwrap. Let's go ahead and hide the caruncle for now. Hit the tab key. So we just do one side here. Make our seams. Okay, I'm gonna go to my edge. Select all the edges here. And also here and here. And here. So maybe all of these and then leave one open. So I'm thinking of how it would unwrap. So maybe like a cylinder. So when it unfolds, it's going to look something like this, with this part being this part right here. So I left that open right there. U, and then mark seam. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other side. Other side, we can select this, and then I'm gonna go leave one open and mark seam. And we don't really need to create a seam in the middle because there's an opening here, so it will unfold properly. And let's check that out. Hover a mouse over here, right click and unwrap. Alright, and there it is. Cool. And maybe just gonna rotate like this. So we're looking at like how we would look at it this way in the viewport. And we could, so now since this is mirrored, you see how we have it also on the other side. But if we go here, we only see one UV. So we could go ahead and just apply that mirror, hit the tab key, select everything, and UV back islands, and turn off rotate and press OK. So now we have two, one here and one over there. We do the other side. So for this one, same thing of how we unwrap the top part. So we just go ahead and make a seam around this area. Press down on your numpad to zoom in. And you can see this, there's some clipping going on. To fix that, we can go over here to our tab and we go to our view. And then we could mess around with the clip start and the end. So for the clip start here, we could lower the value. I'm going to hover my mouse over here, hold shift and just drag to the left. And now everything is fine. Okay. Oh. Okay, now I'm going to go and hide that. So now, don't have any clipping when we zoom in. Much easier to see what we're working with. Okay, so we'll leave one open. U, mark seam. It doesn't really matter which one you leave one open, as long as one of them are not seamed. Alright. Okay. And then let's go ahead and select everything. Right click, unwrap. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just select this and just gonna rotate it this way. Alright, and we could go ahead and apply, hit tab key, select everything, UV, back island, turn off rotate, press OK. And we gotta do the caruncle part. hit tab key. So this one, I think, oh, okay, so I don't have a mirror modifier here. So I'm just going to go ahead and, I think this is similar. I mean, this is exactly the same. So we could just delete this faces here, unwrap one, and then mirror it on the other side. Okay, so for this, let's go ahead and maybe we could just go ahead and make a seam around this area. And maybe I'm still thinking about how a cylinder would unwrap, so maybe I could leave that one open, mark seam, and then we could create a seam in the middle here, then up to here, all the way around, all the way over here, leave that open, and mark seam. Okay, great. Now let's go ahead and select everything, right click and unwrap. Okay, great. Now we could go ahead and check out the move tool, make sure it's in the middle of the grid. Yep, it is. So now we could mirror this on the other side. Mirror. And let's make sure that it is mirrored properly. Yep, mirrored properly. And Control A, Visual Geometry to Mesh to collapse the modifier. Hit Tab key, select everything, and right click and unwrap. Alright. You know what? Instead of unwrapping, we could just go to UV, back island, and press OK. Alright, great. Now, what we could also do is we could just put everything together, all the UVs for the eye here. See here, the UV for the eyes here, we could just include it with the eyeball. Shift H. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and select the Caruncle and also the tear duct, hit Tab key. And I'm going to select everything that's here and then do a pack UVs here, pack island, scale, rotate 0.015, press OK. And so I'm going to move this to the side, select everything and just move it to the side. And then we could select everything here, including the eyeball, hit Tab key. So now we see the UVs for the eyeball. Remember, the UVs for the eyeball have to stay there in place to not move it around. It has to match up with our material for the Unreal, so keep that in place. Alright, so maybe for this, I could go ahead and maybe thinking about where I'm going to put it. Maybe I could put this here. Yep. Maybe I could go ahead and scale it. Put that there, and then this one could be placed also somewhere here. Oh, I accidentally deleted it. But right here. Then these could be placed in this area. Maybe I could go ahead and select this and this, put over here and scale it, and go right here. And then this one is going to go in this area. Alright, great. So that is it for our eyeballs. Alt H. So all the UVs for our eyeballs are all, and also the Caruncle and the everything for the eyes is all packed up in one area, in one UV layout. Okay. And yeah, now we have to do this one right here. This is already okay. So our head and our arms and our hands, they're all packed already properly. Now, the outfit is all gonna go in a separate texture set, so we need to make sure that they're all in one UV layout. And yeah, we're gonna do that in the next video.